You are welcome, sir.
Great.
I like to know.
I'm comrade Mbadi Onobori. I'm a student of Gateway ICT Polytechnic in Shaka.
My name is Christian Adeniki. I'm from Ilaro Federal Poly. I study SLC, Science Laboratory Technology.
The greatest Nigerian student.
Great.
I'm comrade Oluwada Milari Omalede, a student of National University, the Financial Secretary of the Association. You are welcome, sir.
Yeah, I'm the great of the university.
Great.
Okeria for Bestman is my name. I'm the national PR. Okeria for Bestman is my name. And I'm the national PRO of NANS. Spokesperson for the entire Nigerian students, schooling both to my diaspora. Yeah, under the auspices of National Association of Nigerian Students. Well, we are glad to be part and parcel of today's epoch-making event. This is part of our consultation moves in preparation of the 2019 general election. No doubt you are not the first gubernatorial aspirant we are consulting. Because we have decided to symbolize symbolism. We have decided to take the bull by the horn. We have decided to receive blueprints and manifestos of the entire gubernatorial aspirants in Ogun State. That's why we have decided to engage you constructively. This is not in any way a form of endorsement. Rather, it is a form of consultation to know what you have in stock. As the first and I guess the only female gubernatorial candidate in the Gateway State, we believe it is important, it is sacrosanct at this moment for us to know what you have in stock. Of course, Nigerian students remains the willingly winning, led by the unknowing, doing the impossible for the ungrateful. We have done so much for so long with so little. Now that we are qualified as the leaders of today, equally as partners in progress for a greater tomorrow, we are at liberty to do anything with nothing in terms of positivity and of the greatest Nigerian student. Your political party, the AAC, which has the comrade Omoyele Sowore as its presidential candidate. On one or two occasions, I have had cause to engage comrade Omoyele Sowore personally. Even at a time when there was a particular information being circulated as regards regarding to NANS as National Association of Non-Entities Scallywags in 2015, which he refuted, which he denied, saying that shows that indeed we have a clear direction. Former United States of America President John Quincy Adams famously said that I quote, "If your actions inspire others to know more, learn more, and become more, you are a leader." Come 2019, Nigerian students are not supporting political parties. Rather, we are supporting individuals. That's why you might see a particular platform A emerging for a particular portfolio, while a particular platform B might not. This has to do with your level of antecedent, your level of support towards youth and student developmental projects. What have you been able to do for Nigerian youth in Ogun State? Over the years, this is not a matter of, oh, they are here again, they need money. Give them money, let them go. No. That's not it. This time around, we are now cautious, we are now well orientated, we are now more exposed, and we are now more involved. As at yesterday, we were at the first headquarters where there was a stakeholders meeting, which was addressed by the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of Southwest. There is a global. Yes, that's at the first headquarters. We had all political party chairmen in attendance and all civil society organizations. And I believe when the NAO's leadership actually gave me a call that to lead this kind of meeting to be happening, I felt, well, it's important for me to be in attendance. And that's why I decided to honor this event. Ma, we want you to know today that it isn't life that matters, but the courage we put into it. Because after darkness, there comes a victorious dawn. We have a female presidential aspirant too, under the allied, that's Mrs. Obi Ezekwesili, the leader of the Bring Back Our Girls campaign. We believe it is good at this time. We need more female participation in politics. We need more female participation in governance. But Rivers is the case. What is the percentage of women in governance? It is very minimal. And indeed, when we now see some few women coming on board to say, oh, let me contest for this particular portfolio. Indeed, they should be supported. They should be welcome, regardless of the political situation we find ourselves in this country. We believe if we know your manifesto, if we know your blueprint, if we know what you have in store, we will be able to analyze in our own cover to know, okay, is she worthy of emulation? Can we support her? Does she have the capacity? Don't forget, man, former South Africa president, late Nelson Mandela, said that I quote, for to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live a life that respects and answers the freedom of others. So also it is that we remain the willingly willing that has always been doing the needful for our compatriots. And we will always do the needful, regardless of what might be happening. So to this man, we love to hear from you. We love to know what you have in stock for Nigerian students, the issue of bursary for Ogun State students, the issue of adequate welfareism, what will be the percentage of Nigerian youth in your governance if finally you are given the mandate. Let me make it known, man, that we are not just saying making mere mouth. We, during the voters registration exercise, we were able to take the pain upon ourselves to mobilize our students, to collect their PVCs across the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory. And that's it. Whatsoever thing we are putting on board, whatsoever thing we are saying, we know that, okay, these are facts, these are empirical facts that can be Googled. So no, don't worry, man. So to this man, we love to know your antecedents. How has the struggle been? How were you able to come to limelight? How do you intend sustaining the campaign? Because all campaign needs fund. Where do you intend to get your fund? Man, there is no, it will be a mere fallacy if I should lie to you that, oh, we are giving you 1 million votes. Oh, we will give you 30 million votes because we are meeting for the very first time. There was a time I posted some messages on your campaign page on Facebook, accusing you of not making efforts to meet the student leadership, which I consider as one that is very, 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 very important. Ma, you are not the only gubernatorial aspirant we have met. Between February and December this year, we've been able to meet at least over 11 gubernatorial aspirants, and we know what they have in stock. And now it's left for us to now compare and contrast that what are the challenges, what are the edges you have. You are a female. Of course, we have larger population of female voters because they are the market women, they are our mom. Most of men have them as wives, we have them as sisters, so they can easily penetrate into the heart of the man that, oh, they are for me. Because then Justice Salib is a female and she was able to make the record as the president of Malta. The current president of Malta is also a female. Even the UK Prime Minister, even Germany, you talk of Croatia, you talk of, so these are facts and these are issues that, I mean, let us run issue-based campaign. I issued a press statement not quite long cautioning all presidential aspirants on the need for us to shortcut speeches. As a gubernatorial aspirant too, we know that, of course, let us issue-based campaign. Let us, what we have in store. Okay, this is what we are capable of doing. Let us compare it. If the men folks have done it for so long and we are not seeing much result, why can't the female try as well? Let us know what you have in stock. I believe we'll be able to do the needful when the call comes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. I hope you permit me to sit down.
Of course, yes.
Thank you. It's not because I'm trying to brag that I'm somebody. It's just that sitting down on this side makes me sit like that. If I believe if I stand up, it's going to make me pull the weight to the back, and I may not like that in my body because I'm a very slim person. I'm glad that I met you. I've been looking forward to a time like this. The reason why I couldn't see you till today is because as I was coming into the nation, I came in with a diary that is packed full till yesterday. And what we are trying to do today, I said Tuesday will be very good because Tuesday started a new diary and you came first on. I want to thank each and every one of you for first for coming and secondly for making your mind open. I'd like to introduce myself to you. My name is Eniola Otasoya Martins. Eniola is my second name. But that's the name that everybody knows me. I mean, on my birth certificate, my life, my second name. But Otasoya is my father's name, and Marcus is my son, my married name. I'm glad that we have the opportunity to meet my principal, which is my president, Moyele Sowore. And he was the one that set all these ball rolling. He was the one that started it. He was the one that encouraged everyone, including myself, to come out and say, yes, I want to be a candidate.
From where in Ogun State, ma?
Sorry?
From where in Ogun State? Your place of origin?
Oh, sorry, I'm from Shagam. I am a daughter of the royal family of Otasoya. That's why I have to carry the Otasoya name. So that everywhere I go within the kingship, the royal, they recognize my father's throne, my grandfather's throne, who is from Igwepa, Mapon, Shagam. So, and apart from that, I was brought up into royal home. Also, I was streamlined across Lagos State University in the 80s, while criminology was being introduced at first. And Nigeria wanted to do national identity card. We went in. I was one of the 66 people that the federal government enrolled for the position. I studied criminology. I specialized in fingerprinting. I did scene of crime, and I was able to do photo shoots. I worked with 4 CID Alagba, and then even I think everywhere I go, I have a new name. I was born with that. Even at Alagba, I was called Eniola Alagba in those days. For those who have the record of Alagba, anyone that will be doing this and will be hearing from you will tell you that it was true. When Alagba was next to the secretariat in Ikoyi, I walked around him. I was from one place to the other. I was able to understand the concept of the government within the criminology. I was able to work with Interpol. I was able to work with Customs and Excise. I was able to work with immigration services. I ended up with policy idea that one, issuing police certificate for those who are traveling to this country. And from there, I traveled out of this country. And like you said, what have I done for Nigerian students? I may not have any record of what I've done for me. Just like Shomure, apart from studying here, I've left the country for over 30 years. But leaving the country for over 30 years, I was one of the people that promotes CIV, which is taking to come to Nigeria before it came to Nigeria, when it started in America. I was one of the experts in law, and I attained the position of chief fundraising officer. And I did well for doing it. I never received any money on behalf of CIV or AAC to my pocket or my account, just to clarify the situation. But I was able to raise money for the project. I was one of the people that encourages people to go and mobilize within their state and their community to go back home. And I was looking at that. I'm going to be one of the people that will sponsor anyone that will come out under that flagship. But as I came in for convention in October this year, I found out that there's a vacuum left in Ogun State. They have everything. They have people going for House of Reps, Senate, and everything. They have even the councillor, the chairman, and everything. But they haven't got anything for governorship, and even I think a Senate post was being left. And I was made to consider which one I want to go for. I said I didn't come for that. I came all the way from London to come and see what you have done so far in Nigeria. Even though I've contributed to about 7 states in Nigeria. I've contributed to Lagos State, I've contributed to the state, contributed to Delta State, I've contributed to River State, I've contributed to Oyo State, I've contributed to Ekiti State. And all I did, I was just doing my own thing, just because I believe so much in what my president is pushing. And one of my sons, who is a graphic designer, was one of the people that designed most of Showore's posters in North Hall. And I sponsored them. When he designed it, I'm the one that pays for it. I will take it around the state and give it to people so that the awareness can be created. Also, while I was doing that, I have an NGO that I sponsored in Nigeria, in Abuja, and in Shagam alone. In Shagam at Sabo, and we have not actually loaded it a lot. But if you go to my YouTube, Eniola Martins TV, you'll find out some of the work that I've done. And in there, you'll find out one other thing that we do not promote. Not that we don't want to, it's not a secret, but it's something that my principal does not want anybody to promote. We don't promote religion. So that you will not be influenced and say because of the religion that I am. That's why I have all the support. So religion is taken out of it. But if you go to Eniola Martin's TV, you find out some of the things that I've done. You find the religion, put it aside, look for the work I've done with the NGO. Is there as well. And some of the things that I've produced some films in Nigeria as well, with the ANC. When Nigeria was very old-fashioned, when they were doing Kojo and also, that was in those days. And I was the first person that did the home, that produced the home video. I did 2 films to my name. In the light of any baby, that's to do with my name. There's another one that is called Opposite. You can imagine it will not be popular now, but then it was popular because it was coming out from the village and talking about what we can do within the community, which I was able to produce from here. Not only that, I've also promoted a lot of people that wanted to study and be doing Cajun cooking. Although I don't make a ministry of it, but when people contact me privately, I do my best. And I will not continually do it. Like I will do it for that moment when that person will happen. And then I will not do it. Not that I was going to do it for a year or two until when they graduated. I've never done that. I have a reason why I didn't do that. The reason is that I believe that there's a lot of people for me to help. So if I can just touch you in my way, it's good enough for me. And apart from that, I'm very impressed with everything that my principal have actually promoted, because I have children. I'm a mother and also a grandmother. And my children were not born here. You can imagine I've left so long, and they were born back in the UK, and they grew up in the UK. And we are not planning to come back to UK. We were not planning. Until when Showore came into the scene. And when Showore came into the scene, it was my son that actually encourages me to look into what Showore was preaching. And then we found out that it's something that I have been talking about for a long time. It never occurs to me that we can actually put it into practice. That's why I call it Showore's vision. Whatever you see Showore preach today, I'm the only one that call it Showore's vision. Because it was his vision that brought me to this stage. For me to stand up within the crowd at the place of convention and aspire to become the governor of Ogun State was a big step. And you can come to you by asking me, am I sure that I want to be the governor of Ogun State? And my answer would be, for me to have left my comfort zone, it would have been easy, everyone would say. I left my family, I left my children, I left my grandchildren, I left my business, I left everything that will profit me. I say, yes, I want to stand in the gap. Standing in the gap for me is not about the money. I'm going to make it, because by the grace of God, if I'm the kind of person that God created me to be, which I know I am, I'm not greedy. I'm very, very made. It is not AAC that will make me. I'm good at whatever God has done for me, and I'm happy. And I'm not as young as you lot are, although we're talking about you taking it over. I'm just standing in the gap, but I'm in between the youth and in between the adults. So I'm 50-something. If I had, let's say, God granted that I spent 8 years during this governorship thing, it means I cannot continue after 8 years, as far as I'm concerned. Because in 8 years' time, I should be 60-something, almost 70. I don't believe in that kind of continuation where I want to become governor and then after governor I want to become senator. It's the only thing I aspire to do. I'll tell you before I now answer some of the questions that you not have asked me. The only thing I aspire to do is, if God grants me the governorship post, and I know it will, and I get to do it and I do it well, I don't want to spend another 4 years doing the governorship. I want to become the president of Nigeria. If my president allows me, I want to be, because I know I can do it. And I know that the work that we're going to do will speak for itself. It will speak for itself. I'm not here to tell you what you will become. Like I speak to some students yesterday at Shabab, I will say to you that the first thing I expect people to do is to change their mindset. Because the government that we're going to have with AAC is not the same type of government that we used to have in Nigeria. Experience is coming with us. Because apart from you lot being the one that we wanted to safeguard, to bring you to your own post, because it's your post. You are not the greater tomorrow, you are the greater today. I believe that you are the greater today, and you can do it. The only reason why people like us are coming is to encourage you to get there. We are not going to put too much adults in the government. The youth are going to be in the government. So everywhere that I go to speak to people and speak to young people, I get to tell them that I want to start my government now, not when I get to Okemoson. I'm going to start it now. How am I going to start it now? Is the way that we are seated now. The way that we're seated now, after we speak about what we have for the youth, which is very paramount to this meeting, then I'm going to set up between you, whether you support my party or not, like my comrade have said it. It's not the path. It is important, but that's not the reason. The reason is that it's good for us to set the ball in motion at the moment, because we take 4 people from each student community, but I'm looking at your community as the national, not the state. So it's going to be different from the 4 people that we're going to take. So not now, but I'm going to ask, after we finish telling you what we have in stock, I'm going to ask that I need 8 people from the national that is going to set up the committee that will reach out to the state. Although we only take 4 from each state, but the 8 people from the national will now be working within the committee that we're going to set up in future. Because this government is not the government that is far from the people. We want the people around us to be closer to us. We want you to tell us what you have told us before, and we want you to mark. We want you to have a register where you mark what we have done so far. As for my manifesto, that's the first thing that should come out. Should come after my talk now. A king has advised us to put it in a sort of paper, so that you look at everyone, not you know, sorry, everyone will have a copy of it. When we get to Okemoson, we'll be able to take it. So this is what we said we're going to do, and this is what we have done so far. So we've just given it to printers. Today, I'll get I have one of you's number. I'll get other people's number. We'll be able to send it to you today. But the one that will be printed is still with the printer, which we're doing. We're correcting some things. Because along the way, when we went out, we found out that we have a vacuum in the manifesto. Because people were able to ask us, like you were asking me today, some of the questions that we never thought would come to play. But the question is very important, because they are also parts of the nation. So what's going to happen today is telling you what we have for the youth. And I'm going to start from the age 0. And before I tell you what we have for the youth, let me first tell you that the budget of Ogun State has been looked into, and is being looked into. We have a strategy and planning committee who is looking into how much is coming into Ogun State and how it's being spent, and how we will be able to manage what we have. And then these strategic people are giving us results on whatever we plan to say that we want to do, how we're going to achieve it. It is good for me to tell you what we say we will do. It is easy for me to sit down this chair and tell you I'm going to make a mountain level, I'm going to build a school, I'm going to plant I'm going to make river, I'm going to. It's good, it's easy to say it, but really, I'll tell you something about life. You sitting down here, people will say it in my language, Yoruba language, that you have your gods. But that's almost truth. It's not the truth. The truth is Olorun wa. There is God. It's not just you having a God. Olorun kankan wa. And if God has done so much that He has done for me, and I have not introduced to you my deputy what position is leaving behind to come to Nigeria and to come and take this post, and the reason why I chose it, which I will tell you as well. For us to come that way, and we come here and join them to steal the money. I told you that at the moment I'm over 50. Turn on back then, I am very close to the age that even not close. Kimbakule ni àwọn ọmọ mi aṣoku. Àwọn ọmọ mi aṣoku. My grandchildren will do my burial and they will celebrate my life because of the life that I have lived, because of what I have done in my life. In fact, I believe in my life that I've lived 3 times. Even within this life that I was sitting down with, I have lived one and finished it, start another one and finish it, and start another one and finish it. This is the 4th one I'm starting. And on those before starting and putting on one side, I have pause glorify God for what He has done for me. I will tell you in front of you here today, without showing up and without pride, and I'm proud of myself, that it is not about money. It is about a legacy that I want to leave behind. I believe there's a purpose why God gave me this opportunity. Come and sit and say, I want you to come the governor of Ogun State. I am a woman of valor. I am a fighter, and I'm also a woman. There's no work, profitable work that I have not done. I'm not afraid. And I believe that this job in front of me is the simplest of every work that I've ever done. I'm a good manager. I can manage some situations that are tough. Some women are not, and men are not created to just work. Some of them will just back up at the middle. Some of us will face it head on, but some of us are playing the game. Whichever way they fall to, I believe that it is good to do the best, because whatever I do today will be something that will be spoken about for my history in future. And I don't want my history to be spoiled. Living in London for 37 years, and you can go into the Google and go everywhere and find my name clean. I don't want to spoil it. Yoruba said, there's nothing that you eat that will not finish. That is about life. So if you think that Ogede is the ultimate, it's a lie. Where you think is ultimate is the beginning for other people. That is about me. I don't believe that I'm here to impress anyone. I'm here to set my own legacy. To have a name like Fumilayo Kuti. I want to have a name of people that have changed us. And they did a very good job. So concerning our life, I want to start from a zero. But before I go to a zero, I want to introduce to you my deputy. My deputy has his name is Adeboye Akinwumi, and he's a son of the soil in God and his qualification will tell you. But I only held him to one, and that's the purpose I chose him to be my deputy. He's a data analyst. And I needed our database in the whole Nigeria, starting from the state, to be created, to be managed, so that we'll be able to distribute appropriately. The reason why Nigeria is upside down is because those who knows how to do good have not done it. If we have a good database and we follow that database, we'll be able to share whatever we have properly. The reason why only one side is being funded and the other side is not funded, giving us a statistics of Nigerians to be 200 million people, is just how do I put it? It's a joke, because nobody can really tell you how many we are. I was looking at a Ekiti platform when they have the election. The number that INEC has for election is smaller to the number of the people that voted. So where do they get them from? The people that voted are more than the number of INEC. We've been lying to each other. I believe that Ogun State is a gateway state. You can start something good in Ogun State. You want to have a database. With database, when you fill your form, you put everything about you in it. Your name, the work you're doing, if you're a student or anything, whatever information that database needs, you put it on. Immediately after you put it on, we now have you as an individual. So I'll start from a zero. For those who were born between a 0 to 6 year old, we're planning to start paying the child benefit in the state, not Nigeria. I don't expect you to understand it. It's easy to say. How can we do that? At the moment, the state is owing a lot of money. With all these bridges going around, contract to the Chinese and everything, we are owing a lot of money. We won't be able to do it. But then, if we want to give our children only two child or 2 kids per family, if we want to give them child benefit, then we have to be realistic. We have to be realistic. what we want to give them will not hurt the pocket. In fact, I'm ready to leave my salary to pay it, because it's not about what you pay for me monthly that will make me. I already told you that I'm made. I want to encourage, because this is what is making a lot of people angry. They don't have anything in their pocket. 2,000 per month for children as a form of voucher to buy baby food, buy baby napkin will go a long way, because peace of mind to the parents of that child. I want to encourage people to have any children that they have, but within my government, I only want to pay for 2 kids per family, the first one and the second one. The reason is, where I come from, I also enjoy that child benefit to bring up my kids. It helps me a lot. There's more to that child benefit. In those days when I used to have my kids, when you wake up in the morning, and no matter how early you wake up, unless you go out too early, there's going to be 2 bottles of milk in front of your door for your children. You don't know, they don't tell you if it's for children or adults. 2 bottles of milk is out there. You use it for your cornflakes in the morning, and then you feed the baby. This is a little bit of peace. That's what I want to introduce between the age of 0 to 6 years old. And we're going to look into preparing a nursery or whatever you call it for kids instead of all this private school. Because you see, what I found out in Nigeria is that a lot of children does not have their youth spent properly. Children start from 0 to go to nursery school. They start learning ABC before they are 1 year old, which is good, but it's not that good, because when the brain starts being used very early, you get tired very soon. Before they get to 30, 40, they will lose all their IQ, because the time they're supposed to spend playing, they spend it studying. So we want children to go to play center instead of going to nursery, where they can play, nothing to learn, but play, exhaust their energy, and come back home. We are planning that, but it won't happen within the first year. 6 months after we enter is when we do by that time we should have finished the database. We want to time ourselves between 6 months and 8 months after we come into government to do that. And also, we are planning that through the database we'll be able to print out the vouchers or that will be used to maintain what we plan to do. Then from age deposit to the secondary school level, I could have said from age 5 from my place to age 16, because no matter how much you study, by the age 16 you should start going to higher education. And then, but over here, some of them repeat classes. I spent my secondary school year, as you know, so I know. But before I left, it was only the morning class that we have. You go to school, you start at 7, you finish at 3. But by the time I left, I started hearing about the SS1, SS2, SG, uniform, and then they have the afternoon class, and then they have the evening class, because the government was not properly prepared for it, which I think my deputy will explain to you, but I just want to brush it on the top. By the time you put your questions together, he will be able to answer it properly for you. Please have your drink, and if you need any snacks, please let me know. Okay. Also, for those children in secondary, primary and secondary, we plan for the first year, just first year, to, while they have the long-term holiday, to go into the school. We would have prepared before then. We have a meeting, we have all this committee that we're setting up, including you at the national, because you'll be able to look at, because you lot have been to secondary school too and primary, so you'll be able to advise us, the committee on it, and we'll be able to do what we think we want to do. First of all, we want to secure the school with the gates and the fence. Second, we want to have a borehole water for every school. And thirdly, we want to have the toilet, the proper toilet with soaking with. And the fourth one was some of the schools who are leaking. We want to make sure that all those leaking. And getting contract, we don't want to set up the contract that people from very far will get. In each community, because we've been setting up community everywhere we go, in each community they will have some contract who have not been able to get contract. They have the certificate, like my principal will say, she will say, Nigeria has a lot of contracts that has no workers. They keep the contract given to only some set of people. I've had people come to me to advise me on how to manage Ogun State money, to set up contract, put my family name on the contractor. They will get the contract, they will give me a for free, and they will go and Jesus. they will go and do it and they will keep the money for me. I say nítorí kíni. Is that something that you like so much that you've been eating since you are born that you have not finished eating? Kó jẹ́ dòdò àtẹ̀yìn ló like kó máa tán náà ni. There's one musician that says if you go out or you have a party and you kill 12 cows, ọbẹ̀ títọ́ náà ló máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹran. I am this big not because I eat too much. It's because of the gene in me. I'm a big person naturally, even if I don't eat. Some people will smell food and they will gain weight. I am that kind of person. If I smell good food, I will gain weight. But my body is just happy to make it. But you don't have to make other people suffer in order for you to make it right. That's why you see a lot of people, they work so hard, they have families that have seen them on top, and by the time they come down, they crack. I was born in the cemetery. I know a lot of people that used to be rich in those days, who has big names. Their house was later occupied by thieves and landlords. I know a lot of people, I can mention names sitting down here, when I was younger, that made name in Ikorodu. If you go home and say what I'm saying now, and some of the parents understand what I'm saying, they tell you that lady knows what she's talking about, and they become nothing. Their children die for us. Some of them are adults, on themselves, because they've done this to the lives of people like me and me. They destroy life. They are always looking for something to eat. We've been out to so many places. Yesterday we were held down by street boys. They said we will not go. We should give them $1 million. If not, we will not go anywhere. Governorship aspirant, let's go. And people wanted to start calling them names. So I said to people, leave them alone. These people are one of me, they are like me. I have an opportunity not to be one of them. Doesn't mean that I'm better than them. I told them, we don't have money. My party don't have money. We don't even have Godfather. There's nothing I can do. I said, if I give you money here, it's from my pocket. And all I have is this, maybe 10,000. How much did you give them? The boys yesterday, 3 times. We gave them 10,000 all together. So at the end of the day, when they know that I speak their language, they open the door for me and let me. I can see when I was passing by to go to my car that one of them was actually held down, pinned down. I didn't tell anybody because he has a knife on me. I know he's not going to stab me. He's not planning to stab me, but they have to pin him down because they know that he can do it. People like that get angry easily. Why? Because of the situation of the nation. They look at you and say, you just come here, you want to come and talk about, you want to do the road. There's infrastructure in our manifesto. They're saying, don't do any road. Bring power. And the valet that I sit next to have already told me before the boys, when we were shouting out there, the valet told me, and I said, those boys are the ones that keep our area safe. They don't have a job from morning to evening. And some of them are going home, they have a one person, they have children, there's nothing for them, nothing for them. So when you want to go out there, stress your I told him, I said, I was born in the Democrat. I grew up in Mariga, I grew up in Israel, I grew up in Russia. I know how not to have a life. I know. I have an opportunity to be there around today. My family are not rich, but they are not rich. So I grew up in between them, so I know. And I understand. But you have to check carefully. Most of the things I'm telling you now, don't promise it here. It's something I know that the state can do. After doing the secondary and the nursery and the primary and the secondary, let me now go to the class that you love. We are changing, like I said. First thing I want everyone that's going to work with me to have the mindset that will change. We're not going to do it wait for something. I have looked into it. I have some committee on it at the moment. They've been looking into it since October when I declared myself to come and ask them. And what we have decided is to have a study work in Ogun State, the ministry, state ministry, we work for them. We work for our talking about the state ministry in any other state. Here, what we're going to have is students that will be working on their day off. When they don't have a lecture, they will have to go to work. We want every student to spend 5 days in a month to work in their state ministry. That is very close to whatever study, whatever qualification they want to become. Whatever you're studying in future, if we don't have it within the ministry, we're going to liaise with some company. We're going to pay them to take you there for that work and study a week in a whole month. 5 days, not even 7 days. When you do that for 3 months, that means you've done 15 days. 3 months. Please remember this. At the end of 3 months, we must pay you a full month salary. We have looked into it to be straight and forward. Please, if you want to ask us later, we will bring it out to you. It's been broken down to how we can do it. The reason why you go to work and tell you, because some of you will finish your study and you want to go to work, and the next thing they're going to ask you, because they don't want to employ you, is your experience. So we're going to give you work experience certificate while you're studying. And you're going to have first-hand understanding and knowledge of what you're studying. We went to where we met some students after school. They go to learn how to make shoes and everything. We are also going to incorporate people like that into the government, into the state, whereby when they finish that training, they're going to work for the government for a year, for a whole year, and thereby they'll be able to be set up for the business that they have learned in case they want to use it in future. The government will give them money to start their business. Also, we want to help the students while they're studying, for the year they're studying, to be able to look into the bursary that the government is providing now for the state and see where we can change it. We're still looking into it. We have not actually promised anything. But I can tell you something. If the way we are looking into things work out for us, first, the wages that you'll be paid for that 3 weeks, which is a monthly wage, will be able to pay some of you's rental where you are living, might be able to even pay for your school fees, depending on where you're working, so that the parents will be to live or find what they look out for. Also, we want to stop that what do you call it, Aristo sponsoring our girls and those sugar mummies sponsoring our boys. We cannot stop it totally, but we're going to do the best. The reason why I say that is I have that experience with very close to me, that a lot of students are working even to sustain their parents. It's no more the parents working to sustain the children anymore. It is now the children overworking themselves, working to sustain their parents. I've had experience from people very close to my heart who have worked so hard to take care of their family, take care of their siblings, while going to school, paying the rent for their family, paying the school fees, and the sibling they work for later call them prostitutes. I have experience very close to my heart of someone that worked so hard to contact deceased while she went out doing that kind of work. People like that encourage you to say, yes, I want to become the governor of the state. But before I finally said yes, we started that strategic and planning committee. And I can tell you that my first daughter is one of the people that analyzes it. Because I will not tell you her position, it will be easily found out in the Google. But she worked with the government of London, strategizing. In fact, she's a senior staff. So she was able to tell me, Mommy, the mistake can afford it. And I can tell you sitting down with, if anybody lies to you, the mistake can afford it, sir. Please believe me. We have looked into it. It's not a lot of things. That bursary is something that we're punching at the moment. And I'm sure before the election, they'll give me the answer to what we can do about the state bursary. I've been able to talk to people that have homeowner shelter or home shelter. Who have paid for their CFO who have not received it. Because that affects some parents that are paying school fees as well. We've been able to find out that we can issue that CFO with the price of the receipt alone. You don't have to pay it anymore. Only the receipt collect from us. We're going to for we're going to forfeit the amount that has been spent by the government of the state. And we are not here to prosecute anyone that has stolen money from the state. If I want to stay on prosecuting them, they'll be corrupt people. We're not going to do anything. So I personally, Enola Okafor Martins with my government, will not go into that prosecution. But we will allow the government if they want to. What I meant by government is the federal, if they want to prosecute anyone who can spend their money. The reason why I said that, I told you from the beginning, and I will say it again, I'm a very good fighter. I was born in the beginning. I know the concept of fight. If you want to fight now, if you start fighting, I will be looking at you. Because I have to study how to finish that fight. You start that fight. By the time you want to stop, that's when I start. I'm a bit like this economy. Nígbà tó go back on the mandate. So I have to look at that war. And I have found out now that in order for me to present what I want to do, I should leave all war aside. Go straight to my office and do something that will give community, that I can give back to the community and give the community peace of mind. And now I want to tell everyone here that fighting is not part of the cause I am called to come and do in Ogun State. I am called to come and change the situation of Ogun State, and I can do it. If you allow me, because I'm not going to do it alone. I'm going to do it with my deputy, I'm going to do it with my assistant, I'm going to do it with all of you. This kind of government that we want to create in Ogun State, you will be surprised. A lot of people are scared at the moment because they know, one, I don't live here for over 30 years. So nobody is going to come from behind and tell me that Commissioner Mary work for me. When I don't spend your money, for me, it's going to be a lot of my community a lot of my commissioners are going to be youth. But we are going to orient them first. I want to law school, they have to go to school of mental understanding. So that they don't go there and waste my money, because if they do and waste my money, they spoil my government and they give me bad name. So I want him to prosecute. I will arrest and prosecute any commissioner or anyone that works with us that does not deliver according to what they promise. Like I said to you, I'm not here to prosecute those who have stolen money before, but when it comes to our government, I am going to face it. That's why we're going to have some group within us that is going to be army against army. See, I also study CCTV. You see, it's a course in some people that do SIA. I have a bit of qualification around everywhere. I study CCTV. I know how it works. I have qualification for it. So we're going to have an office for CCTV, and it's not going to be operated by the electricity company. It's going to be operated by solar energy. And we are having training. Oh, I forgot. That's another thing that we're creating for the youth. We've already started in Yewa now. We have someone that has started training people on solar energy. And that's what we want to bring everybody, any course that you study, you must do solar energy as your special subject. So that at least if you cannot provide energy for the whole house, you have energy for the front of your house. Can you believe if you can tell me that London, Britain does not use government energy to provide energy? All we have, you know that standing street light, at the bottom of it, we have solar energy consuming energy from the sun. And the sun we have is only 3 months a year. If London can keep their area secure and their energy being fed for being supplied with sun for 3 months in the whole year, how much do you think Nigeria can do? Why do we pay electricity to electricity company when we all can have solar energy? The reason why we don't do it, I tell you, is because our government don't want you to know that you are good at what you can do. Today, there's a guy that is the most expensive paid person in the whole world today. He did robotic engineering. And this guy is doing fine. Have I told you that I, Enola Okafor Martins, studied mechanical engineering, aeronautic engineering, and specialized in robotic engineering and can fly it? Because the plane is being fly. Education is power. Did you hear what I said? Education is what? It's power. If you have understanding of whatever is going on, people who doesn't know will cook a whole cassava. People who know will make cassava serve something. cash out of cassava, areas of cassava, last work of cassava, work of cassava, and still going on. But those who doesn't know, we take the cassava, cut it, boil it, and eat it. Do you get what I'm trying to say? We have a good plan. It's sweet to hear. But in order for us to implement it, I can't do it alone. I have good plan. I want to introduce to you my deputy. Before he would not answer now, we want the question to come because he will do the same thing as I've done. He will talk a lot on anything that we have. Because another thing that we didn't told you is to orient people on our manifesto. You can read it, but I need to teach them. So the people that you're going to give us are going to ask us more questions and we're going to teach them so that they will understand to explain to other people and we will not be able to explain to them. So I want to introduce
Take it back.
Action.
Once again, I just want to welcome everyone of us here. As I said in the beginning, my name is Adeboye Adebayo Akinwumi. I'm a business intelligence data analyst.
Business what?
Business intelligence.
So you didn't take it.
I had my primary education in Abeokuta here. As a matter of fact, St. Andrew Anglican Primary School in Nepal here. I'm a native of Nepal. And I had my secondary school education in African Church Grammar School, opposite Obasanjo's house. And shortly after that, I went to Lagos Poly, Lagos State Polytechnic, briefly. While I was studying, I was working at the First Institute Merchant Bank in the Marina under the leadership of Chief Samuel Olowole Asabia. And I worked there briefly for about 10 years before the career even take me down to United Kingdom, where I had my degree in South Bank University in a business study. And a year after that, I went back to do my MBA in the strategic environment. And ever since, I've been working with the various companies, and I had my own business as well, because I work as a contractor. And my job basically is to go into any company, any financial institution, wherever they are, as long as they have a database. My job is to go in there to try and bring an insight from information that they have in their database, and then give them an informed decision that can propel the business to the next level. So coming here on board here in the States, see it as a challenge, and I see it as a clarion call that none of us will refuse to accede to. I mean, like you said earlier on, there's a one quote Mandela made as well that says our time on this earth is very limited. Whatever you do that will make a change to the life of the people and it's going to stand as a legacy to you is what every one of us should aspire to do. So when this clarion call came, I can't resist it because at the beginning, I'm one of the people there that normally, argue, wailing, this is not good, that is not good, they can do this, they can do that. Then we got to a point, even when my wife even told me that, listen, you guys are sitting down here, you complain about this, about that. The only way you could make a difference is to get involved. And many of us will be lagging behind. We are not getting involved. And that's why we get to where we are today. And what we need to do is all of us have to get our hands on decks to make sure we do what needs to be done for us to get to where we want to be. Briefly, I will just quickly mention some areas that Her Excellency haven't touched while she was talking to us. And because of the time, these people
you still have to spend the time in the question. Please, every hour free so that you can add it to it.
Thank
I understand, just to buy it.
All right.
As I've rightly said, previously said, this is a very good interactive session aimed at knowing what you have in store. But I will be frank with you now, because we are political actors and diplomatic militants. We don't take no for an answer, and we remain unintimidatable, unshakable, or casual. I want to appreciate you for what you said, but I have some reservations. Number one, it truly is good to be a woman to contest as a female candidate, but we have issues as regards the previous women were given opportunity to serve. you talked about Alison Madueke. She's highly corrupt, and the federal government of Nigeria is seeking to extradite her back to the country to face corruption charges. Let's leave that aside. In this country, we once had a female Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Mrs. Patricia Ekpe, who misappropriated a substantial amount of funds. And at that time, she claimed to have spent so much renovating a building. And what led to that, she was impeached. And that's paved the way for Right Honorable to be the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Having said that, now, that is not to say that we don't have some progressive-minded women. You said that you've been away for over 30 years. Someone like me and my comrades were not born as that. Ma, don't you feel you've stayed too long away from home?
No.
Ma, I'm coming, ma. 37 years or thereabout, staying away from this country.
Not staying away, living there.
And
I
living
come
there,
home
yes.
every year. I have properties here, I have business
Yes,
here.
ma'am.
I am still Eniola
Excellency,
Otasoya.
Living there for 37 years.
Yes.
I want to ask, ma, that after the 2019 election, I pray you emerge victorious. But if Rivers is the case, don't we feel, or what do you have to convince us that you won't go back and sit down there since your children are there, your families are there? But we are here in Nigeria. We have been facing the battle. We are the struggle makers. We have been fighting right. Every time we have faced so many tear gas, we have faced so many, and we live here. But if the election comes and goes, you will leave. What is the future of the supporters? If we are even willing to partner with you, we are not, previously said that we are political actors. We decide where to go, and we cannot, we've delivered previous governors, and we are still loyal to some of our leaders. I'm talking based on fact, man, because we believe that as Nigerian youth, we are now more focused and more dedicated. We are on the street of Nigeria. You spoke about 0 age 0 to this age. In Nigeria, man, reverse is the case. Because the challenges of an average Nigerian student are so enormous. And we expected you to start speaking as regards providing more infrastructural amenities in our
You didn't ask
institutions.
me that. You asked me
Qualitative
to,
and affordable education.
you asked me to speak about
Declare education for all
I'm not
the
done
children
past
in the
yours.
state.
I want to talk about you. And I told you manifesto will come to
So,
you.
man,
That's not the only thing that if you want to hear about my manifesto, we're going to sit here for more than 12
no
minutes.
problem. You still react.
No, I want to answer that to that lady's one.
Okay.
You have record of women that are corrupt.
Yes.
You know, if you compare that to the record of men that are corrupt, it's double it. People are very bad that if I want to write 1 times 1 to 1 times 12, and I get to 1 times 12 and I write 5, people will not see what I have gotten right from 1 times 1 to 1 times 11. It's what I've got wrong at the 12th that they're going to talk about. Definitely, there is going to be people that are corrupt. It doesn't have to be a man or a woman or a woman. There is going to be women. But I am not like that. Like Showore was asked. He was asked if he has experience to become the president of Nigeria. He answered them. Do you remember what he said? He said, I don't have record of corruption. I don't have record of fraud. I'm not fraudulent. It is about me. Whoever has got that record is them, not me. This is my first time of coming out. And if I can leave my family and come and live here, just because I wanted to become a governor, and when in the future and I did not win, because we have to consider both sides, doesn't mean that I'm going back to London to go and enjoy my life and forget Nigeria. No, for me to have put my hand in the fire, I know it burns. It's a sin for anyone to enter the river and start shouting water. It's cold. You're already there. We're going to look after Nigeria together. Come rain, come sunshine.
Excellency, I won't tackle that, man. I'm still of the view, man, that as a security expert that you are, with years of experience having served at the Popular Alabama. You never, we are talking of job unemployment. That was why when Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari declined assent to the Peace Corps bill, I issued a press statement to that effect that was publicized on virtually all major dailies in Nigeria, where we said that this would have created lots of job opportunities. I believe that if you are given the opportunity to serve, we have lots of youth out there. And as a security expert, don't you feel the issue of the agitation of state police that is being agitated? We have the vigilante service of the state, we have the vigilante service of Nigeria. How do you intend incorporating the youth? We have gone beyond.
That is the area.
We have gone beyond.
Sir, I'm very sorry, Mr. Last President, please let me come in. Celeste observation, please let me come in.
Some amount of money to some people. No,
My counterpart, please let me come in.
No, everything I'm talking about, is going to create employment.
Incoming, please.
Everything.
Please, we are still engaging our incoming.
No, that's how it must be.
No, I have to look at it as
We want to engage constructively, man.
Let me quickly
Sir, let me just react.
Yes.
I'm very sorry, sir. Just pardon me. Sir,
Sorry. Please, let me make a formal introduction of myself.
How are you?
No.
All right.
I'm the media officer. I'm the PRO. I'm a spokesperson.
As spokesperson?
Yes.
In a case like this, pardon us to
and you know what you are capable of doing.
I know. Sir. Can I make a cogent?
I have over 35 pages on Google.
If you have been given this
Google
kind of
certified.
job, you know when it should interrupt.
And that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be.
My incoming governor here, she's not forced to come and contest. It is because she had the love of our people at heart. That's why she has come on board to showcase what she has for the entire people of Ogun State. And in a case like this, you should allow we the electorate, forget about students leader this time. Let us talk about those who are going to go when the time comes. Let us have the opportunity to engage our incoming. You are the spokesman to the incoming governor or probably to the AAC political party, but at this point in time, permit us to engage ourselves in a constructive argument. Thank you very much. So, Ma, you talked about creation of the database where we are going to have the information of everybody that resides in Ogun State. Probably now we'll go about sharing our national cake or whatever. It's a very good idea. I love that. State cake. It's coming from the national body.
No, state.
From the national, it's come to the state.
We have federal allocation. We have
allocation.
But apart from federal allocation, in case you don't know, there's also
the internal generated revenue, whatever. You are fine, man. We are good to go. So what I'm trying to say is this: you talk about making provision for school gates, fiber water, toilet across all the schools that we have. Is a very fantastic agenda. And we also talk about, I think the third one, please, if I permit me to check my phone.
the ball.
The ball, yes, we talk about that. It's a very good thing. But I think what is very, very important to us as a student union leader, our home constituency has to do with education. And when you are looking about when you are looking at what's happening currently in most of the states we have in Nigeria, even in most of the federal universities in Nigeria, you discover that even our school fees are somehow exorbitant. Too much for even a common man to avoid. And most of our politicians today, they enjoy the free education declared by the late sage Chief Olufemi Awolowo. So I think what we're supposed to be talking about here, because I believe when you have education, you have been liberated already. You'll be exposed to a lot of things that happens around your society, within your society, you know exactly what you are doing. So I think on that aspect, it's very important you address that aspect. And you talk about not having the mindset of prosecuting those that I siphoned the public fund in the past. I will never go by that now.
Thank you.
If some people, out of their greed or greediness or whatever, they siphon a public fund, money that belongs to the entire people. Let me use most of the retiree as instance this time. Some of them, they died of just as in a very small element that if they have money to take care of themselves in the hospital, they will have been alive by now. But most of these people, they siphon our money, they use our money to go and buy parcels of land at Banana Island. Just imagine, man. And you are telling me that you don't have the mindset of prosecuting these people. Why many people have died in the past? It is not done. I will never support that.
No one is above the law.
Why, man, But my personal aspirant said something like that. I said the election, the kind of election we are going to experience in 2019, you discover that probably for House of Assembly, somebody from AGM party, political party, whatever, may eventually emerge as House of Assembly member. The president of the country may eventually become, may come from PDP or whatever. I am not making case for any political party because I know what you are saying here is being transmitted live on air. Initially, I don't suppose to allow that.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Sincerely,
everything that I do
but I think
be streamlined.
No, I'm not against that, but I can still. I understand what you are talking about.
Yeah,
we don't initially, we don't suppose to allow that, but fine, it has happened. Let it go. So you see, mommy, what am I even talking about? The election that we're going to have in 2019, you may just you later realize that maybe somebody from Adga emerged as the councillor of my ward or whatever. We are dealing with personality this time, individual. We are not talking about political ideology or whatever. What do you have for Nigerian students? What do you have for the electorate? What do you have for our mother? What do you have for the retiree? What do you have for the civil servant? That is exactly what we're talking about. So please, mommy, it is just an advice. Please,
no, just look around. Keep talking.
The issue of telling people we are not ready to prosecute anybody. Please, mommy, don't say it again.
Okay.
Many innocent people have died because of the natural attitude of these thieves.
No. Let me
people have died.
It is said by my mom.
You see some literally they cannot even afford to pay their children's school fee.
As we are sitting down,
and these people they are sending their own children to foreign country. Nas Piarosa, I think 2 weeks ago, is not the NUC chairman went to UK to celebrate with his son on his graduation. So NUC, Nigeria National University Commission, yes, National University Commission. If the man is not crazy, if the man is not stupid, currently ASU is on strike.